BGP community. Communities group. Many people try to form community. Some succeeded, some failed. Some trying to make it success, but world politics is not allowing them. Example, Nityananda. He was trying to form one community, but it didn't happen. It didn't work out. Then what is community? In the human world, community is people, the group of people that have got same mindset, same food habits, same attitude, same mindset. That's one community. In today's era, that is how we define community. Good that the caste system has gone bad. Very good. It's gone out. That was only evil. But still, that community thing is there. Everyone tries to form new community. Few years back, there was one guy. He was from part of Russia, I think. No, Jesus of Jesus of I don't remember the country name. He used to call himself Jesus. Same like what Nityananda is doing today. The stunt work that Nityananda tries to do is copied from that person who was trying to claim he is Jesus. So he really formed a community. He bought a big land and he had a very small group of people. They can't easily go out. No one from outside can come into their area. They have their own rules, own education. They should eat the food what they grow. No buying from outside. They sell foods between themselves. They exchange foods. So that guy was a cop, a policeman. Later, he wanted to form a community. That is the truth. So he used the name Jesus. Only then people will show some respect to his community. So he don't want to say as Guru or something. He said, I am Jesus of new era. So you cannot buy things. You need to grow things and grow things for your living. And many people liked it. And few got added to that community and they were all having one single mindset. They all followed one common habits, lifestyle. But they were successful also. I found them, they are very successful for many years. But when they allowed the outsiders to come in to visit their country, to visit their place, their problems started. Politics entered. And this man was arrested for claiming himself as God, which was against the rules of that land. I think it is part of Russia or something. Jesus of New Zealand or something like that. If you YouTube, you will know. He's still there in jail. No big accusation against him, like what this fellow Nityananda is a rubbish guy. That guy was really neat and clean, but we didn't allow him to continue his good work. That's what I'll say. He really found a nice community. People with very good discipline. I was very strict in discipline thing. They have their own boundary. Was a reserved area. Inside a forest, they built this city. Nice it was. But it's no more. Likewise, we have thousands of networks, thousands of routes advertised and learned by and via BGP. Thousands of routes. Few of them we treat the same way. Means few destinations. You have one common policy for few destinations. You got common policy. So you got a lot of groups of networks. For example, if you have 1,000 routes learned, out of 1,000 routes, you have a common policy for 250 routes. Like that, you have 4 group of networks, totally 1,000, each group having 250 networks. All these 250 network in each group need to be treated in the same way. They need similar treatment. They need same policy in path selection. Out of 1,000 network, you have 4 groups, and you want each group to have a precise policy in path selection. For example, group number 1 means, the 250 network, I want it to go via router A, exit from router 2, and go via router A to reach the internet. And I got another 250 destination that needs to reach via router 3, need to exit via router 3 and go to B. This is an ISP, this is another ISP. I'm just giving an example of what community in BGP means. 250 networks, specifically 250 specific 250 networks, not any 250 network. You got precisely some 250 networks. Those destinations should only go out via router A. Means go to ISP 1. And the other 250 should go via ISP 2. The other 250, maybe you got a MPLS connection. MPLS 1 connection. And there is another 250 that you want to send it via normal internet connection. Okay, this is also internet. Okay, IPsec tunnel. So 1,000 destinations, but they all take a different path. You can use local preference to achieve this, but to assign local preference, we use community value. So we identify the 250 network, not with the prefixes, not with the destination network IDs. We match with community value. If this community value matches, for example, 1:250, if this is the community value, then I'll send it to this A. I'll give local preference 400 for that set of network which is identified with a community value 1:250. If the community value matches with 2:250, then I will send it out via router 3 to ISP2. If the community value matches 3:250, I'll send via MPLS1 this link. I'll give a high local preference for this MPLS neighbor. If the community value is 4:250, then I'll give this exit as the preferred exit. So we group and we give a name to the group called community value. It is simply a tag given to identify group of prefixes. Now you may think like, what? I already have access list. I already have access list. I already have prefix list and many more to match. Why do I need community? That's a good question. So if you are thinking like that, then it is time to go to the next level of understanding BGP community. You see, the community values will not be assigned by ISP, but will be assigned by customer. Here is C router. Here is P router. See, in this scenario, there is only one service provider. Whatever I was telling here, this is this. So a customer is sending traffic. He has got 1,000 destinations to reach. If I have set of 250 prefixes, so there are 4 sets. First 250, I want MPLS service. Okay, let me make it simple. First 500, I want MPLS service. The second means the last 500, simple IP network, internet service. So this is MPLS link, goes from this service provider to the upstream service providers. This is another service provider who can take traffic, who can provide MPLS. This is normal IP. So this is the service provider. This is your directly connected service provider. So now you have asked your service provider to provide MPLS service if the traffic is coming from this group. If traffic is coming from this group, these 500 destination, if the traffic is for this 500 different destinations, you want simple internet service. So what ISP does is, ISP says, okay, no problem, we'll give you that. All that you need to do is mark this 500 traffic with a tag value, maybe 1:400. And then this 500, which needs only simple internet service, you mark it with 2:200. It's just number, no meaning in it. ISP has given you this number to tag and send so that they will know if any traffic comes with the tag value 1:400, they need to provide what? MPLS tunnel. So you simply tag and send. If the ISP receives with the tag value 2:200, they will know that you need only IP service. So customer has got no idea what this number means. They simply tag it, they attach the community value and send it. Send the packet to those destinations, that 500 destinations. If that 500 destination matches with that first group, they go with tag value 1:400. ISP on seeing that, they understand they need to send it via this exit. Exit number 1. Exit number 1, if they send it, will go via MPLS tunnel. So they give high local preference for those destinations here. Any traffic that is matching with 1:400, local preference maybe 150. Any traffic that is matched with 2:200, local preference is 150 for this neighbor. So anything that goes to this neighbor, this path, it will be IP routed. Anything that is going to this router 1, because of high local preference, for 1:500, local preference is 150 given on this router. Whereas 2:200, 150 local preference is given on the second router. Anything goes here takes the MPLS service, anything goes there takes the normal service. So in short, what I want to say is the meaning of tag is given by ISP. ISP only knows meaning of the tag. 1:400 means he needs MPLS service, so I need to send to the gateway which has got the MPLS connection. So you may use local preference or wait to achieve this. That is depending on how big the topology is. You know very well those stories we learned. If this is only one single router, why I need local preference? I will use wait. Anything coming with 1:400, this will be the weightage, high weightage given to this neighbor for 1:400. For 2:400, weightage will be given to this neighbor. I'll simply use wait attribute. So by this time you should know community is nothing but tagging. Customer tags and send the traffic. But he cannot tag something that he likes to tag. The tag value should be the value given by ISP, because the meaning for the tag is only given by ISP. So ISP only decides what tag the customer will attach. So ISP says for all those destinations that you need MPLS service, just tag this value and send it to us. We are there, no, we take care of it. Don't worry. Likewise, for those traffic that needs IP services, tag it with 2:200. So customer immediately obeys, okay, fine, I need IP service for these networks. I group all of them using access list. I call the access list under the route map and I set community under the route map. And I attach it with the neighbor, ISP. I send it to ISP. ISP receives the tag value and he understands what need to be done for those tagged traffic. He does the necessary needful. So this is the community that people do. There are well-known communities already there, which is not this difficult. But before going to the well-known communities like internet, no advertise, no export, I want to ask you, did you understand this part of community? This is the main. Many people, when they say community, this is what they will say about community, and this is what they think community is. But there is also something more to it, which we'll see after a few minutes. Now, my question is, did you understand this part of community?
Yes.
Thank you. What about others? So, this is one part of community. There are well-known communities, meaning well-known tags. If the tag is found, hi.
The button works, sir.
Okay, no problem. You understood this community? Let me
Yes, sir.
explain. Okay. So, secondly, what I'm going to explain you is a well-known community. You don't need to tag these numbers. There are predefined tag values. Every Cisco router will understand what the tag means. For example, few networks I do not want to advertise to other autonomous system. Listen. Few networks I do not want to advertise to other autonomous system. Within the autonomous system, I would like to advertise it, but I do not want to advertise it to the next autonomous system. You can use community called no export. Simple, one keyword, that much only. You don't need to type any value. No community number under 1:4, no, nothing like that. You need to simply say set community no export. That's it. So that network will be advertised to all the IBGP neighbors within that same autonomous system. It won't go to other autonomous system. See, every vendor has got different well-known community values. Juniper has got different names, but basically they do the same thing. In Cisco, we have a no export, no. In Juniper, it may be something like internet or no internet, something like that. But that is not a popular use. It is not used popularly, but it is also there as a community, well-known communities. I'm going to show you now. So the BGP community, well-known communities like predefined, that is what meaning well-known. No export, no advertise, locally is an internet. What does it no export mean? Does not advertise this route to EBGP peers. So, you match some prefixes and you say under the route map, set community no export, which means those networks will not be advertised to eBGP. You can try in the lab that you are using for the previous attribute. Attribute labs, we have a lot of networks there. We'll test these things in the same topology. Next, no advertise. Do not advertise these routes to any peer, whether it is IBGP or EBGP. Keep it local. It is advertised by using network command, but you said no. Keep it local. Don't give to anyone. So you might have learned from many other peers and you keep it local. You don't give it to the downstream. And then local AS. Do not send this route outside the local autonomous system. This is external BGP peer. This is do not advertise these routes to eBGP. This says do not send this route outside the local autonomous system. Do not get confused. This and this look similar, but they are not same. Anyone knows the difference between these two?
eBGP versus IBGP.
Like, then what about
so
this?
No export is means not to advertise to eBGP peers.
That is eBGP is another autonomous system, no? eBGP is another autonomous system, no?
Yeah.
Okay, now what does this mean then?
So basically, to advertise it to IBGP neighbors, but not to eBGP.
Then it's the same thing, no? Here. So these two sounds same, but they are not same. I'm going to quickly explain you, but I'm just making you through think what might be the difference.
No export is for eBGP, right?
Okay, that's right. No doubt. That is right. 100% you're right. What is the use of local AS community, well-known community? Okay, I cannot expect an answer from. I cannot expect answer from Mr. Gaurav and Mr. Sheikh Ji because they both have not learned so far confederation. So I'm giving you a clue now.
Do not advertise any notes.
See, this local AS is only if you have confederation in your network. Nowadays, no one has got confederation. So I did not focus on that topic much, but I'll be talking about confederation in next class after I finish this community lab demo. What is this community means? Sorry, what is this confederation means? Having multiple sub-autonomous system inside the actual autonomous system. You create sub-autonomous systems, means small private autonomous systems. Listen, small local autonomous systems. This is the original autonomous system. And you know very well, the route coming from here to router 2 will not give it to router 3. Likewise, the route coming from router 4 will come to router 3, but router 3 will not give to router 2. Is that right? I'm teaching confederation now. Route learned from R1, R2 will not give to R3. Yes or no? Oh, complete silent is very bad. Please tell me now. I'm talking about some basic things that you learned in the past. A route learned
Yes,
from
sir.
an IBGP should not be given to another IBGP. True or false?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
If you,
To
sir, if you,
override this, what we do is we create confederation, meaning we create sub-autonomous systems inside this autonomous system so that these two will think that they are EBGPs. The original autonomous system may be 20, but internally I create private autonomous systems like 655, 65422, 64533, something like that. Originally they belong to autonomous system 20, but in order to override that split horizon rule, route learned from an IBGP should not be given to another IBGP, I try to create an EBGP environment. In reality, R1, R2, R3, R4, they belong to same autonomous system 20. What I have just said is what confederation is. Confederation is creating sub-autonomous systems, private autonomous systems inside the actual autonomous system. Now, if you say local AS, which means you should not advertise the routes from here to here. You understand what I said? Do not send these routes outside the local AS, means outside this private boundary. Is this clear now, the difference between no export and local AS? Did you understand?
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. But why do we use confederations?
Route learned from an IBGP should not be given to another IBGP. You know that rule?
Yes. No, I'm saying like, I mean, in general, like why is confederations used? Like, I mean, not in this case, but otherwise.
There is no other reason. Confederation is used only to override the IBGP split horizon rule. Just to overcome that.
Okay.
We have route reflector, right?
Yes.
Along with route reflector, confederation will also be used. For example, if I have 3 routers, I'll use RR in this router, I'll use RR in this router, and here I'll have confederation. But why this is not in use in today's world? Because we have MPLS tunnels. You don't want to run BGP everywhere now. See, this is needed only if you want to run BGP everywhere on every router. Nowadays, we don't need to run BGP everywhere. We run BGP
Sir.
only on R1 and R4 and we form a tunnel. There is no need for BGP, so there is no need for confederation. Yes, tell me, Sheikh.
Sir, the inside sub autonomous system, it will be say using same like EBGP, huh? They will.
Yeah, R2 will think R3 as EBGP and share the route. You don't need to write route reflector for R2 to share the route to R3. It will share it because R2 is seeing R3 as 64533 autonomous system member. But originally they all belong to same autonomous system 20. Right? So this local AS attribute is not going to be used unless you have a confederation. You may need this one, even this one. Internet. What is this internet? The last one. Advertise this route to internet community, means all BGP speaking network device belong to this community. internet community, meaning advertise to everyone. Simple. This is the default community value actually. Advertise to everyone. All right. So if someone will, have configured like no export, you go and change it to internet if you want to advertise to everyone. Graceful shutdown, community of root, graceful shutdown. I have not seen this one, anyone using it. And it is also not listed in all documents. In some document, there's a community. I think it will shut down gracefully those roots that belong to that community. It will say the network is no more available, something like that. But I don't know the use case, why someone will use this. Maybe if they want to shut down in bulks. The community attribute is an optional, which means that it is not to be passed by the networking device that do not understand communities. Correct. See, remember one thing. There is a command called send the community. Unless you use this command, even if you configure community and assign it, it won't be sent. You need to forcefully say BGP send the community. And if one of the router which receives with the community value is not configured to read the community, they will simply ignore it. The network device that understands the community must be configured to handle the community, or else the community attribute will be simply discarded. See, by default, no community attribute is sent to the neighbor. That is why I simply finish saying now you have to use this command and forcefully ask the router to send the community. So what do you understand from BGP community? BGP community is a tag we assign so that we can implement policy in bulks. Implement policy for bulk of root and destinations, prefixes. We can have user-defined community values, and you can use local preference attribute or weight attribute or race, anything that you learned in the past, along with the user-defined communities, for which you have like 16 plus 16, 32-bit reservation. This is 16-bit. There's another 16-bit. Yeah. So communities are simply tag values.